A day that changed everything. April 22, 2025, etched forever in memory, not as a date, but as a feeling. In the breathtaking meadows of Besaran Valley in Pahalgam, where people arrived with cameras, laughter, and dreams, terror arrived instead. Without warning, without mercy, and in a matter of moments, joy turned into chaos, and laughter faded into cries for help. 26 innocent lives were lost that day. 26 stories left unfinished. Families were shattered, futures erased, and a nation brought to a standstill. Even today, a year later, that pain hasn't faded. It lingers quietly, deeply in the hearts of millions. Well, let us shed light on the attack when paradise turned into a battleground. It began like any other peaceful day in Kashmir. Tourists walked through the valley, soaking in its beauty, unaware of what was about to unfold. Then came the sound of gunfire. Sudden, sharp, and terrifying. Heavily armed terrorists opened fire indiscriminately. There was no time to think, no time to react. People ran in panic, children cried out, and families were torn apart in just seconds. What was meant to be a memory of happiness became a nightmare that would haunt the nation forever. And the attack sent shockwaves across India, shaking not just the valley, but the very spirit of the country. Well, nation responded, not just with the grief, but also with determination. Grief spread quickly, but so did resolve. Across the country, people mourned together. There was anger, there was sorrow, but above all, there was a shared understanding that this could not go unanswered. The response was swift and determined. Security tightened, investigations intensified, and the armed forces were given a clear mission: find those responsible and bring justice to the victims. This was not about revenge. It was about ensuring that such brutality would not go unchallenged. Now let us shed light on the Operation Sindoor and Mahadev. That was the path to justice. In the days that followed, India struck back at the roots of terror through Operation Sindoor, dismantling the networks that enabled such attacks. But even then, something remained unfinished. The men who pulled the trigger were still out there. And that's when Operation Mahadev began. What followed was not a quick victory, but a test of endurance. And for nearly 3 months, soldiers moved through some of the harshest terrain imaginable. Dense forests, steep mountains, hidden caves, and rain poured relentlessly. Visibility dropped to almost nothing, and every step carried danger. Yet they did not stop. Day after day, night after night, they kept searching, not just because it was their duty, but because it was personal. The final moment when the justice was served. By late July, the search finally led to the Mahadev mountain range. Then on July 8, 28, came the moment that they had been waiting for. 3 figures were spotted, moving cautiously, trying to remain unseen. And for a brief moment, there was uncertainty. But soon the truth became clear. These were the same men responsible for the horror in Pahalgam. And within moments, the forces acted. They moved with precision, surrounding the terrorists completely, and there was no escape, no second chance, and in a swift operation, all the 3 were neutralized. Justice, long awaited, had finally been delivered. And Pahalgam today, healing but not forgetting. A year has passed, but Pahalgam still carries the weight of that day. Security is tighter, vigilance stronger, and the valley where it all happened remains sealed, guarded as both a precaution and a reminder. A memorial now stands in silence, honoring the lives that were lost. Tourists are returning slowly, and there is hesitation, but also hope. People come back not just to see the beauty of Kashmir, but to reclaim it from fear and from memory. Life is returning, but gently. Pahalgam is a memory that will never fade. The Pahalgam attack was not just a tragedy, it was a moment that tested the spirit of a nation. And in response, India stood united. From grief came strength. From loss came resolve. From silence came action. And April 22 is no longer just a date. It is a reminder of what was lost and what must never be forgotten. Because while the scars remain, so does the promise to stand together, to fight back, and to ensure that justice is never just a word, but a reality. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.